The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah. It's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna...
Rinwell!
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants, how it feels. Rena's Great Spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Shion.
I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
To think, all this started because of the Great Spirit's desire to keep living. The only reason it craves energy is because it's dying from starvation. When you think about it like that, maybe the things it's done aren't so strange after all.
If Rena had been more like Dana, things would have worked out a whole lot better.
It's like Hevrecht 35 told us. The Danan and Renan spirits are meant to be completely different beings.
Rena's energy amassing in one place led to its developing a powerful will. But that also made it crave energy, sapping Rena dry until it perished.
Whereas Dana's energy is dispersed, meaning its will never developed to the same extent. And without that hunger, Dana the planet was spared.
As for which is correct, well, I'm not sure it's our place to even say. Still, I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the dichotomy of the human condition.
Dichotomy? What do you mean?
Those who know not satisfaction are driven to keep devouring without limit. But those who are content with their lot in life rarely fulfill their potential. I imagine it's likely that the larger Rena's Great Spirit grew, the more and more powerful its hunger also became.
Everything in moderation. When all's said and done, maybe that's the hardest thing for people to learn.
Like this should be easy.
I shall ensure you can... I can carve through armor! I'll say...
You're mine!
Down on the ground!
Double Demon Fang! Dazzle! Take this! Penumbra! Sword Rain Alpha!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Elton!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you! Lightning! Astral energy!
Say no more! My turn!
Radiant
Thank you!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Seems about right to me. you!
Easter!
Dragon
Swarm!
Here's the evil! It looks like you got this one covered. Here's the evil! Go for the weak point!
Can't get out of this! Down on the ground!
Sleep now!
Point flash!
Can you take it? Cut and slash!
Double demon fang!
Bloody howling!
Sleep now!
Now you see what I can knock it into next week!
Get out of there with the others!
Sword Lane Alpha!
Eagle Ray!
Dragon Swarm!
Here's the evil!
Dazzle!
Now or never!
Freeze Lancer!
Double demon fang!
Radiant
The flaming cycle! Yours to be let free!
Get on in there with the others!
Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver!
Let's go!
Dash on the way!
Dragon Swarm!
Thunderbolt!
Shattering the pieces! Elusive deity!
Healing star beyond the
Rotating
darkness
pile
sky!
driver!
I call
Tornado
upon
drive! Armor won't save
Thanks
you!
so much!
Double demon fang!
Dragon with a shot!
Double demon fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Take this!
Don't mind if I do!
Elusive deity!
Front! Sword Lane Alpha! Dragon Swarm!
Elusive deity!
I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! With your flames and my technique,
We're stronger together than we are apart. Wherever we go on this planet, there are machines littered everywhere.
It's impressive to look at as a bystander, but I sure wouldn't want to live here with all of this around.
I know what you mean. There are no fish here. I couldn't cook any of my delicious dinners for you all if we lived here.
Clearly the worst point against it.
Let's dispose of the trash.
take this!
Anything in armor is all mine!
No escape! You picked the wrong
Resonate
fight!
with the earth! I'm sorry to trouble you.
Now I can let loose!
Show you what my art can do.
I'm not done!
Here goes!
Stardust!
I need something.
You need to be healed.
Hold
While the
nothing
mighty
back!
have fallen.
Outstanding form.
Lightning
Dazzle! And more of this will help burn out! Stardust!
Reload!
Point flash! Strike!
Another incantation ruined.
Strike!
What would I do without
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time.
I really don't.
Try this! Explosive ring! Dazzle! This one's all mine! Easter! Dragon Swarm! Try this! Explosive ring!
Elusive deity! Radiant can't get out of this!
Here I come! Strike! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Sword Lane Alpha! Stardust! The flame inside is yours to be let free! Double demon fang!
Arts are being interrupted.
Ignite! Double demon fang! Be still!
Everyone still doing all right?
Never mind
In a
us.
bind?
You worry about you, Rinwell.
Right. I'm still up.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.